dolphins can swim. Though nothing will keep us together.
Good morning, Clockhouse. Here we are again for the final achievement assembly like this, hopefully, for a long time, or if ever. Let's hope so. I hope you're all okay. Last day of home learning today, and at least only one Zoom today. Remember, it's the middle session, unless you're year 6 and it's your first session, and then time to relax, chill out, and get ready for Monday. And we certainly cannot wait to see you back in school. All the adults are in today, busy getting the school ready for you. So let's get started with Achievement Assembly, and we've got lots to celebrate as always today. So I want you to think this time, I usually say to you, think back across the week, but think back towards Christmas. Think back to when we were meant to come back to school in January, and what can you now do that you couldn't do then? What have you learned during homeschooling or remote learning? Adults, what have you learned? I know some of you have been busy telling us today, this week, what you've been learning as well. I should think we've all learned something. We've all been on our own journeys, our own times during this time, and I'm sure we're going to come out stronger. So let's have a look at my next slide. Now, I wonder if you can remember what the missing value was, what the value we're looking at this half term. So these are the values that we've already looked at: nurture, respect and learning. And in the summer term, we'll look at excellence and excitement. So what is the missing value? Well done, everybody. Community. And what but a better value to think about at the moment than our wonderful community coming back to school, coming back together as the family that we are. But let's get on to the real business of Achievement Assembly. So starting with nursery, and Mrs. Olivier and the team have nominated Antonio for a home learning hero for persevering with his home learning right until the very end. He's always on Zoom and hands in his work. Well done. And Eliana for persevering with her home learning to the very end. Again, always on Zoom and hands in her work every day. Well done, nursery. Moving on to reception, and we have Wales, and Mrs. Bradshaw has nominated Bo for always completing his work, and Christina for always listening attentively during Zoom sessions. Moving on to Scotland, and Mrs. Johns has nominated Anastasia for trying very hard with making wonderful contributions to Zoom sessions, and she's nominated somebody who actually isn't in her class. She's nominated Dylan from the nursery because he's been joining some of their Zooms and making an excellent effort every day. Well done to you. Moving on to Northern Ireland, and Miss Fisher has nominated Nikos for working hard with his home learning and putting lots of effort into his writing. Well done. And Mandy for completing some fantastic home learning, being creative and always trying her best. And that's all we can ask for. Let's give them a polite Clockhouse clap. Well done, everybody. Moving on to year 1, and we have France, and Mrs. Nelda Marsh has nominated David for working hard on all his work at home, and Isla for great contributions doing Zoom lessons. Moving on to Italy now, a bit of a cheeky one here. All of Italy have been nominated for being superheroes during this tricky time and trying so hard with their learning. Well done, Italy. Moving on to Spain, and Mrs. Curry has nominated Alfie for being a star on Zoom and especially helping her during the phonics sessions, and Rian for growing in confidence whilst on Zoom and sharing his knowledge with his friends. Well done, year 1. Great job. Moving on to year 2, and we have from USA for Mrs. Bogle and Mrs. Everingham. We have James for handing in all learning and attending all Zoom sessions, and Amy for attending all Zoom sessions and showing the 3 R's whilst on Zoom. Well done to you two. Another cheeky one from Canada. We have all of Canada for being Miss Burrows' home learning heroes and working so hard throughout lockdown and persevering with the work even though it's been such a hard time. And all of Mexico. And Miss Martin says for being so amazing and showing resilience throughout our time learning at home and always making her smile. Well done, year 1 and 2. Polite Clockhouse clap for you. Moving on to year 3, and as always, we start with Peru, and Miss Burrell has nominated Alyssa and Dolly, both for working really hard to complete all their home learning. Well done to you both. Moving on to Argentina, and Miss Marla's nominated Elijah for always being enthusiastic about his learning and trying his best to complete challenging work. Well done. And Ruby for always answering questions, showing the 4 R's, even that secret one, and staying positive throughout this time. It's really hard to stay positive, so it's lovely to read that so many of you have. And then Brazil, Mrs. Fletcher and Mrs. Hall have nominated Bella for trying really hard and starting to believe that she can complete the work. Keep believing, Bella, of course you can. And Mason for working really hard, engaging in practical tasks that have been set, and he made a very good volcano. Well done, year 3. Moving on to year 4 and Uganda, and we have Charlie for working hard and showing true resilience, keeping going even when it's tough. Well done. And Ollie for working hard and again learn that 4th secret art of resilience. Well done. Moving on to South Africa, and Miss Caton and Miss Page have nominated Jack for always coming to Zoom and working really hard at home with every piece of work. Well done, Jack. And Vlad for working really hard and trying his best with his maths work. Well done to you. Moving on to Kenya, and Miss Delaney has nominated Bella for working well with Mrs. Overton to improve her maths skills, and the same for Jessica, working well with Mrs. Overton to get better at maths. Well done. Let's give you 3 and 4 a polite clockhouse clap. Well done, team. Moving on to year 5, and we have from China, Miss Bowdry's nominated Jacob for always showing enthusiasm with his learning, and Mikey for always giving his all to all his learning. Well done. Moving on to Japan, and we have Babacar for his amazing forest setting description about the story of Firebird, and Sunny for also another amazing description about the story of Firebird. And I've actually seen this, Sunny. I was super impressed. Well done. Moving on to India, and Miss Spencer has nominated Shamir for working extremely hard during online learning and completing every task that's been set. Well done, Shamir, good boy. And Oliver, again, for working really hard during this time and completing every task that's been set. Well done, everybody in year 5. Moving on to year 6, and we have Australia. And from Australia, we have Lacey for her mature attitude shown towards her learning and demonstrated resilience when completing her maths challenges. And we have Cody for his creativeness with English over the last few weeks and willing to share in our lessons. From New Zealand, Miss Kearns and Mr. Hurd have nominated Megan for great work in science on classifying mammals according to their characteristics. Sounds tricky, Megan. And Daniel for excellent effort with his work in maths on decimals, fractions and percentages. Moving on to Fiji, and Miss Wilson has nominated Alfie for trying his hardest to complete his home learning, and Abigail for providing high quality work throughout remote learning. Well done to you all. And then we have some more home learning heroes from Greenland. And again, we have all of Greenland for settling back into school so well. Well done to you all. And of course, we mustn't forget our Hawaii heroes, those children that had to continue to come to school during these difficult times. And school's very different at the moment, very strange for them. So let's see who our Hawaii heroes are. So from our reception and nursery bub, we have Riley for doing fantastic work and amazing writing. From our year 1-2 bubble, we have Larry for a huge improvement in his attitude to his learning. Our 3-4 bubble, we have Molly for being so happy and enthusiastic and trying so hard with her learning. And in our 5-6 bubble, we have 2. We have Amelia and Alfie, different way around, for working super hard with their maths work this week. Let's give all our heroes a polite clockhouse clap. Well done. But as I say every week, as far as I'm concerned, you're all heroes. You've all done a fantastic job during this time. You all had your different struggles and your different things to celebrate, but you've kept with us and you've kept going, and we can't thank you all enough for that. But all our heroes are back to school on Monday, and we'll be ready and eager and wanting to see you. Don't forget, we have our last hot chocolate with a head with the story at 2:30 today, so let's look out for that. And let's remember that as we come back to school, we want to keep living up to our values, really looking for that value of excellence, that value of learning, excitement, respect, everything. But what we must remember is we need to continue to be ready, respectful, responsible and resilient until we come back to school and when we come back to school. And I know you will be. That is it from me. That is our last assembly like this. Next Friday, we will have a live Zoom assembly and it'd be lovely to see you all. Take care, everyone. Have a great weekend and I'll see you Monday morning. Bye.
We can beat them forever and ever. Oh, we can be heroes just for one